If you'd like to support the creation of this content, please click on the link below.
We are not in competition. It's one vision, one mission, one African pride. Afrika itajengwa na nani? Na nani? Amanda. Amanda. Itsinzi. Itsinzi. Aluta. Aluta. A Victoria. A Victoria. Thank you, Africa.
Ancient Egyptians are remembered by many as a historical symbol of ancient beauty. Appearance was very important in their society. The way people looked was a symbol of their wealth, status, and role in society. The desire for a beautiful body influenced fashion. However, due to climate and medical issues, it brought forth a unique style. Ancient Egyptian hairstyles varied with social status, gender, and age. Like nowadays, most people try to follow the same fashion. Generally, the hairstyles of children, whether boys or girls, were the same. Their hair was shaved off with only a long lock of hair left on the side of the head. The style was related to the hieroglyphic symbol of a child or youth. When children grew older, boys kept their shaved heads and girls wore their hair in plaits or something similar to ponytails. Men usually wore their hair short with their ears visible. With respect to ancient Egyptian women, their hairstyles were more advanced and unique. They often liked to have their hair smooth or with a natural wave. They also liked to have their long curls, but in the Old Kingdom period, they preferred short or chin-length bobs. A group of researchers from the University of Manchester in the UK studied 18 mummies' hair and found 9 of them had an unknown substance on their hair. Chemical analysis revealed the substance was made up of fatty acids of animal and plant origin. The researchers concluded that this was the type of hair gel used by ancient Egyptians to hold their hair in place. This gel was actually beeswax and resin. Ancient Egyptians would shave their heads due to the prevalence of head lice, but a bald head created a new challenge from the sun rays in such a hot climate. So they created wigs as the perfect balance of enhanced hygiene to battle head lice while providing protection to the scalp, not being exposed directly to the intense sun rays. Wigs became very popular in ancient Egypt and spread to Mesopotamia, Greece, and Persia. The Egyptians improved their technique to perfection in making wigs. The most expensive royal wigs was made of human hair. Wigs in general were made from various fibers such as linen, sheep's wool, horsehair, and other types of animal hair, as well as human hair, stiffened with beeswax. For both real hair and wigs, ancient Egyptians used fragrant oils like almond oil, rosemary oil, and castor oil. They believed the oil stimulated hair growth. Wigs were used in the daily life of the royals, but also at major festivals and events. Egyptian wigs were made in a structure similar to a helmet and decorated with precious stones and jewelry. People who belonged to the upper class liked to possess many wigs. The more wigs they owned, the higher their status was. decorated with hairbands ending in tassels with added braids and curls, and over time, the wigs became bigger and bigger. The most classical style of wigs of ancient Egypt is the Nubian wig, which is a headdress worn in many periods of Egyptian history, but especially during the 18th dynasty and all the New Kingdom period. During those times, wigs with luxurious decorations were a powerful symbol of fertility related to the one worn by the goddess Hathor. This statue of the goddess Hathor can be found in the Luxor Museum in Luxor, Egypt. The wigs known from tombs, reliefs, and statues of Queens Kia, Nefertiti, and Tiye, and other women of this period partly resemble the modern Afro hairstyle. During the Third Intermediate Period, wigs were quite massive and heavy. Queen Isemkeb in 900 BC wore a wig which weighed so much that the queen needed help from her attendants to stand up. Nowadays, the wig is part of the Cairo Museum collection in Cairo, Egypt. Wigs were mostly made by women. After death, people were often buried with their best wigs. They wanted to appear as wealthy and with beautiful hair in their afterlife. Because of this practice, many wigs have survived until now, and they are parts of the exhibitions around the world.
We are not in competition. It's one vision, one mission, one African pride. Afrika itajengwa na nani?